Actors, comedians, and good storytellers all use silence for dramatic effect. And actually, so do composers. But we pianists often ignore rests, or we forget about the rests, or worst of all, we rest in the rest, which means that actually we're creating sound, not silence. This is a shame because silence actually carries a lot of meaning in music. So what do I mean by that? I think that silence can be surprising, it can be funny, it can be, of course, peaceful, it can make the rhythm impulse stronger, it can be very suspenseful. Suppose I'm going to play this and not pay attention to rests. It's kind of cute, it's all right. But if I take the rests that Haydn has taken the trouble to draw in his manuscript and actually try to make them a strong rhythmic impulse with the silence, let's see if it sounds better. The interesting thing to me about this is that Haydn then repeats this exact same melody without the rests. It sounds like this. So if he went to the trouble to do those two different versions, I guess the silence was important to him too. Another example from Haydn, a really different mood. This is from the slow movement of the Sonata number 50. It's a very short, very dense, emotional, kind of dark movement. And there are only two little silences in it. But listen how evocative they are. So in that case, really in all the cases that I'm showing you, if anything, I would want to make the silence longer, not shorter. Then, of course, there's the famous example of the Chopin Scherzo in B-flat minor, where he takes enormous liberties with the sound, constantly interrupting it with silence. It starts out. So we had that combination of silence, silence, and then a big, huge sound. And I think that the suspense of the rests makes the big sound much more exciting. Later on in that phrase, you have another very strange situation where you have the same phrase almost, and he finishes then. It's a huge break in the music and sets up the return of the theme very, very dramatically. These are a few examples of the kind of sound that silence can make in your music. Make sure that you find the meaning of that silence in your sounds. I'm Nancy O'Neill Breath, and these are effective practice tips. Try them.